just kind of go that way.
So we put in this so we don't cut.
Yeah, so we try not to scratch up the paint. I'm going to try and cut it right on this ridge. There.
Okay. So what did we do that for?
We did that so that we can get the wood right up against this metal. So it'll sit tight so that we have something to attach the ceiling to.
Okay.
So I'm going to measure this and cut it the right length to fit across there. And then the template we made that has the angle, we just come along and do this so we can figure out which angle that needs to be. And then we set the saw blade to that angle and go along and cut it.
Okay.
So we need to cut that angle.
You're gonna cut
Cutting the length first, and then we'll bevel it to fit the spot.
Okay. And how long is it?
53 inches. Now I just want to make sure the length is right before I waste all the time doing that.
Okay.
Right in there. Okay, so we got the angle cut on this, and it'll fit right up in here. The angle's good, nice and tight. So all we got to do now is kind of cut it into pieces so we can get it to get up into this bend, and then we'll attach each of the pieces.
Okay, sounds good.
So this fits all nice and tight, no gap.
Very nice.
Yep. So we'll have something solid here to attach our ceiling to.
Okay. What kind of wood is that?
So this is PL construction adhesive. It's supposed to be very strong stuff. So we're going to use that. Get this up in here and help hold it. And then we're going to also put a couple screws in them just to hold them really until the glue dries.
Okay. We finished doing this. It looks really nice.
We just cut all our 2x6 blocking for this side, or at least most of it, all but one piece. And it's going to go up into here. And that'll fill in this gap between these supports and allow us something to anchor upper cabinets to with the piece that's going to be down here. And it'll give the ceiling something to run into when it goes that way.
Okay.
All right, so we're putting these 2x6s up here. I do a little experimenting with the right way to fasten them. So we're using the PL adhesive and some sheet metal self-drilling lag screws. And in order to countersink the heads, using a Forstner bit to make countersinks in the board before we try and put it up there. So just kind of know where we need to put the screws. And we just do that so that the head of the bolts, screws don't get in our way. Moved a little bit on that one because trying to drill through a knot never works. Okay. Now we put some glue up on the metal.
When we were measuring these boards, we decided to number all of the spots where they would go, and then number the boards. That way we didn't get them mixed up as we're trying to install them. Make sure they're all in the right places. Then we moved over to the other side. And after we got these done, it was time to quit for the evening. The next morning, my daughter Natalie came to help us out.
All right, making a piece to cover up the metal in the back. Had to mortise this out a little bit and see how far off we are.
Okay, this is still recording.
Lots of test fitting.
I can't see where I'm pointing it though.
Huh?
I can't see where I'm pointing it though.
Just touch the screen.
Okay.
Okay, let's see how that fits in there.
Down on the right, up on the left. There you go.
That looks much better.
Wait, let me get it.
Because now it's sitting flatter all the way along here.
Once we had this all adjusted to make sure it fit right, we put it in. Then we ran a ridge board along the top of it, like we did with the front, to have something to anchor the ceiling to. Marisol put up the last of the insulation into the ceiling, while we were getting ready to put up the last of the ridge boards that goes along the roof, so we have something to anchor the ceiling boards to from front to back. Once we got the last of the ridge boards put up, then it was time to start measuring and installing the ceiling. We used tongue and groove ceiling boards, and we wanted to run them front to back to give a longer appearance. We set up a folding table inside to give us an area to work from. With everybody working together, it was much easier to make this ceiling go up pretty quickly. Once we got the center up, we were ready to stop for the evening. In the morning, we wanted to run some wiring. It was important to do this now, because we needed to get it from one side of the van to the other, which meant we needed to go up and over the ceiling we were installing.
Wherever we have wires that are going through one of these factory holes, we're lining where the wire comes through with this liner that's kind of rubber coated. It's this stuff, and it will keep the wires from rubbing on metal and wearing a hole in them.
One of the things that's important to do is label the ends of the wires with the same label on both ends, so later when we're hooking things into the fuse boxes, we actually know what wire goes where. After that, we ran some aluminum channels up both sides of the ceiling that we had installed. These are going to be for LED lights.
So we're getting ready to hook up our wires that'll go to our LED tracks. This is our feed coming in. This one crosses over, and then we'll have a little pigtail that drops down for this wire, and then the other one connects over here for the other LED strip. So to hook the three of those together, we're using these little lever nuts. It's these little things. So these are better than wire nuts for vans and boats and things like that. You just pull these levers up, you strip the wire back, stick the wire in these little holes, and when you push the lever down, it locks the wire in place. This will be easier to do this part now. Don't need to strip those yet though. This one, oops.
Wrong hand.
That's the black, and you want it to go in far enough to make good contact. And you can see in there, if you look in here, you can see the wires through the connector, and there's no insulation caught between the wire and the connector. Just like that.
Perfect. Going in the middle or the other end?
The feed we'll put in the middle, which is this one.
On all the blacks going in the same one?
Yep.
Okay.
Black to black, red to red. All good.
Perfect.
So that's it. So the reason we needed that up here,
So our
so we
ceiling
put the
board.
board in, right? I'll be able to reach up through this little gap later when we pull that down and grab that wire.
So while Natalie and I were finishing installing all of the ceiling, Marisol started installing some of the blocks on the pillars that'll go behind the upper cabinets. This will give us something to attach the backing for the cabinets to. The tongue and groove ceiling boards are put up with both construction adhesive and with a nail gun, going into the ribs that we anchored into the van earlier. We used a nail set just to make sure there weren't any heads of any of the little pin nails sticking down. If you're enjoying this video, like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. It really helps us out. Once we had the ceiling up, it was time to start on the lower interior panel walls. One of these goes behind where the water tank and water system will be, and the other one goes behind where all the electrical is. This is the side that will have a 40-gallon water tank and the water pump mounted.
What are you doing?
I gotta cut a hole here for 120 box, one here for a 120 volt box, 12 volt hole there, and then 2 large holes here to pull all the rest of the wires to.
Okay.
Alright, so we're going to start with these big long ones.
Which ones are those?
These are all the,
120.
no, these are the 12 volts. And that one we just ran,
I was gonna ask about the under cabinet one.
yeah, that's what, this one?
Yes.
Yeah, it has to go in here too. Alright, this is the one that's going to go in this box when we get it back a little further.
Okay.
And then these are going to go in here.
What about the red and
I'm
black?
going to run it through with the 12 volt.
Do you need the top notch for those?
Huh?
Do you want the top notch out for those too?
No, these are going through here.
Oh, okay.
And those are for?
These are for the solar panels. Okay. Now we need to slowly come back here so I can get this
I didn't
one.
want to squish you.
No, I appreciate it.
Okay, you're good.
Okay, now get these kind of up out of the way for a minute when we bring this back. Now, if you want to keep kind of pulling. Make sure we're up good and tight. Yep.
A couple of days later, after Marisol painted the back panels,
Okay, we're test fitting our box that goes over the wheel well here. It looks like everything lines up and fits just fine. Most of our electrical stuff will mount right here on the face of this. We built in a little storage area up here above the wheel well. It'll go under the bed. And now we just need to cut a 3/4 inch piece for this end. We don't have the inverter here yet, it's being shipped. So we made a template with the right dimensions so we could show where the inverter will go. Then we have the Servo GX, which is the brains of the outfit. The solar charge controller, Link's distributor, Link shunt, and the DC to DC charge controller. So they'll all lay out like that. Not crowded, plenty of room to run the wiring. Should be good to go.
next we mounted the breaker box for the solar, and then we wanted to anchor the wires so they didn't pull on anything and keep them up out of the way and nice and neat.
looks better.
We ran the wires that come in from the solar panels into the top of the box because we wanted the ones going out the solar charge controller to come out of the bottom of the box, just to keep everything nice and neat.
God, tell me what it is.
So we'll put these wires in here. I want to get a little bit of a bend to that one. Got to make sure there's no insulation in the way. There isn't.
And that's the circuit breaker?
Yes. Okay.
That wire stripped a little on this side.
No, that's just paint.
Oh, I see.
Now, here's where you have to. It's a little awkward. And then when you get into here, just do that. And then lift it up, turn the solar panels on. That'll shut them off if you need to shut them off so you don't have live wires coming in. So now, when we get the rest of the parts of the solar panels, we can go ahead and install them because you can shut off the feed right here.
In the next video, we'll install the rest of the electrical system and start working on the solar system. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss future videos.